This is Deconversion Therapy. I'm Karen.
I'm Bonnie. Karen has already talked to the manager today.
I need to. I'm so pissed today. So let's get the fun things out of the way. We're going to post this episode definitely on our Facebook group. Just look up Deconversion Therapy under groups. You just have to answer 2 simple questions. We'll let you in. But this might be a good episode where we can discuss it in there. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. Just look up Deconversion Therapy. And that's right. If you want to send in a funny true story to make us laugh, because God, we need this, just go to deconversiontherapypodcast.com. You can submit your story to be read on air with or without your name. You can also suggest a topic because you guys have probably been in the whole church craziness longer than we have, as in...
Or more recently, at least.
So this is coming out Wednesday or Tuesday night or whenever. We didn't put out an episode last week because there was something else happening and we just didn't think it was appropriate to put us laughing about something out on the day that America's capital was being overrun by hillbillies. So,
and you know what? You can blame that word on me.
I live in the South, not offended.
No, I don't. I know it's not politically correct maybe to say that, but being a hillbilly is a choice. It's not like saying you're, of a certain race or color.
You're Appalachian American, Bonnie.
No, see, that's not nice. Appalachian American, because that's a place. A Billy from a hill, that's just...
But we're going to record about the insurrection, and this will come out in a few days, and I'm sure by then we will have top leadership dethroned, possibly in jail. There'll be thousands of rally goers in jail. I'm positive that will all be on Wednesday.
When people say jokes like, too soon, somebody literally, a day after it happened, sent me something that was a Lego version of the Capitol building being ransacked.
How?
How did they get that soon?
Yeah. And what kind of person is like, I've got to go to my Legos. I just got to go. Let me get to my Legos.
Well, and I think being at home or quarantined or whatever version of shutting down people are experiencing has also let people have a lot more time on their hand to do these things and produce them quickly. Like that whole fake entry on eBay for the podium was
I didn't
pretty
see that.
Funny. Oh, bummer. So first of all, I think we should say there was nothing funny that was going on, which is why we didn't put anything out.
Right.
It was not the time for levity, and it still really isn't, but now it's time to attack the shitheads.
Yeah. Now is just the time for cattiness.
Right.
I think. Yeah. And, I am unhinged. I have been unhinged since this happened, just roaming around. So you were working, and I think it was my daughter and I can't remember. I think we were already watching the boring television because of the very boring but procedural,
Right.
Mr. Senator from Delaware, what are your counts for, So they were doing the official counts, and my youngest daughter wanted to see. So we're watching that. My husband works at home. And then they interrupt the news, and you start seeing it. It lasts so long. I need to know how long it was. I'm sure I can look it up, but how long were those fuckers in the White House just roaming around?
It was in slow motion.
Yes.
It was And the day of, I saw video of a police officer just kind of moving aside and letting them walk by.
So
that was
we will
strange.
get into that. We'll get into all our... See, this is what pisses me off, is they're turning me into a conspiracy theorist because I don't know what's conspiracy now and what's reality because we don't have anyone coming forward. There's no police or FBI press conference like there is after any other crime that's ever happened. Where are they?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. They always stand around the microphone and then hand it off to each other and go, well, today at 14:32. Yeah.
There have been arrests, which that's exciting.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that
I
more.
turned someone in. I probably have taken down all these people. It's rested on my shoulders.
Well, let me tell you, while you all were doom scrolling and watching the news, so I keep getting texts, are you seeing this on the news? And I'm like, people who work full time are asking me if I'm seeing this on the news. And meanwhile, what am I out there doing? You know, fighting with a cable company, trying to get someone's phone hooked up for them as a favor, explaining to septuagenarians, you know, why they shouldn't respond to phishing emails, you know, driving from place to place, explaining what DMs are. It was and it wasn't anything where you could just stop and watch what was going on.
You couldn't say, I've got to get back to the insurrection. Hurry up.
It was swing over, hurry up and go to this showing, hurry up and go to that one. And there was no time in between, and I'm changing shoes and having to make sure that, you know, technology works to get indoors and stuff. So then by the time I get home, everybody kind of knew what was going on. And I feel like it felt like the summer that I was out of the country, and everybody, by the time I got back, everyone had seen Forrest Gump. And I'm like, what happened?
It's equal. It's very equal.
It's just as equal, but far more important. So I felt like I was missing out. And so then it was catch up. But what I liked is that my catch up came in the form of the late night talk shows, especially Stephen Colbert hosting it live and talking seriously about what went on and giving a good synopsis.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I was grateful that he was able to synopsize it for me, because watching the details as they emerge like you did, it would have been awful. It's
awful, and it's... Okay, so for people who did watch it, you know, the Yahoos start doing stuff, and we're like, oh my God, who's going to stop them? Like when they have a crowbar and they're hitting, you know, the doors and breaking in, and you're like, any second,
no one could have stopped them from bashing a window.
Right. There's going to be helicopters.
And there was someone filming it.
Yeah. And the fun part is, a lot of the video we've gotten from these idiots putting it on Facebook and streaming it, which, again, I'll get to later. But I was like, okay, where are the helicopters? Where are the little G.I. Joe men? You know, where
are the snipers?
It kept going.
Yeah.
And going. I couldn't believe it. And I kept thinking, okay, they're in there now. They're roaming around. We kept getting snapshots and like sending them to all the family. Like, can you believe this asshole's sitting in Pelosi's, you know, office?
Right.
Can you believe this? Can you believe that?
Right.
And then I thought, you know what? They're going to be surrounded. Violence is going to break out because these people aren't going to go down without a fight. So initially I thought, well, maybe that's why the police isn't coming out, because they know it would be a lot of carnage. But you know what? Police have not come out and said that. They haven't said our reasoning was we knew it would be worse. They haven't said a damn thing. And I'm like, I got
Maybe they were afraid of how many guns they had.
What?
Maybe they were afraid of how many guns they might have had.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that they got to go in and get... I think that was one of the first things I saw was that these people got in without going through metal detectors. And I'm like, how? What?
Okay, so we established that they got in there. Did you see the video of them once they bashed in, broke down doors and windows, but they stayed within the velvet ropes that usually got you
I know.
through the tour?
Yep. That's such a good psychological, analysis because they've gotten one or two people who said, yes, I broke in. It was the worst decision of my life. Oh, well, too bad.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh.
One guy. And you just think, okay, could be it for a lot of people. The dynamics of just being there and getting hyped up and being told by the president, I'm going to go with you. We need to stop the count. That some people got caught up. But then when the ropes were there, it is like, I'm just doing what I'm told to do.
Yeah. It was so bizarre. They didn't even run laterally. They stayed within a 4-foot line. Oh, my God.
Insanity.
They're bad. They're just also bad rioters. I think
they're bad.
They're just
ahead.
bad rioters. They should have had a goal and been faster, but whatever. As usual, they did not consult me because I also would have advised them not to do it to start with.
I think all the fried food sort of, it affects the brain.
Okay, has anybody established if they were either smoking anything or drinking anything?
Oh, no.
I can't imagine doing that sober.
Oh, no. I think they were totally sober. And
well, I said I couldn't imagine. I can imagine doing that drunk.
Yeah.
And be ashamed after.
Yeah. Like my group dynamics of, let's do this is, try this wasabi. There's no let's break in somewhere. Let's go into the Capitol.
Did I tell you about the time I went to a meetup group? I actually coordinated it. Only 7 or so people showed up, and we were at a place that we didn't realize wouldn't be quiet. They were playing trivia that night.
Yes, so we told it.
Okay, but I'm going to tell again just for the people who haven't listened to every episode. So we're doing well with the trivia game. And this is a trivia game I love to go to because I know a lot of the answers. It's that level. So,
right.
So we're at the
final.
I feel
good about myself.
Right. Yeah. So we're at the final one. None of us know the answer. And some stupid woman who I don't know across the table, she leans down, looks at her phone, and she Googles it, and she writes the answer down. And I said, we can't turn that in. You just Googled that. And she says to me, don't you want to win? And I was like stunned, like a deer in the headlights kind of thing. And I just said, I have to go. And I just literally ran out of there like I was running home from Kids with a Cigarette. I left my friend Amy sitting there in the dust. I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do, but I can't have this fight. And I've got to go.
I'm sure there are people who turned around and was like, oh, no, this is getting out of hand. I'm
love
going
to
go.
hear from them.
Exactly.
What does that mean? Like, oh, no.
I haven't heard a word from the people that were there. So one of the people who were in the crowd and went to the rally is the pastor of a really big church here. And in fact, he... I think the governor, is it the governor, the mayor, some hoodly-hoo here in Tennessee, that's his pastor. So he releases a video saying he was there and that it was Antifa. Fucking Antifa. I haven't seen them. I guess I am them. But he said it was Antifa. It's hit the papers.
Yeah. You know who else said that?
What?
I saw a great article. You know who else said that? I had an article of what the various religious leaders in the country said about the riots.
Oh, I bet all of them. Who?
No, but evangelist Franklin Graham. Here's his quote. They have a right to protest. To tell people to go home, it's not for me to decide that. The people who broke the windows in the Capitol did not look like the people out there demonstrating. Most likely it was Antifa. For people busting windows, they need to go home. But for people standing out there peacefully holding flags and protesting, they have every right to do that. Why would you slip in there? Most likely it was Antifa. Right. Why would you speculate like that, dummy?
Well, he speculates on God's word, so he has a history of this kind of thing.
It's like real-time pandering to your little racist base. Most likely it was Antifa.
And I'm wondering, we know it's been proven it wasn't Antifa. We have all the stupid social media of the people arrested, unless they were planted, by Antifa when they were 16, because, you can go back in their history.
Okay, so for people who don't know a lot about Antifa, like me, is it a real organization?
I don't even know. And I mean, that's it. It's become like this joke. So who knows? And
so am I straight in understanding what they're doing is saying that there is a group who doesn't agree with us, and they're pretending to be us to go cause trouble in places where they would not want us to be causing trouble, but they want us to look bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the trick is, during Black Lives Matters, we did have that. We had in Nashville a white hillbilly light our courthouse on fire. They caught him, arrested him. So there are like these insurgents. I think there were a few in New York too, who are white, and they want to make it look more like chaos and all that. So they assume that, there's Antifa and we're all doing it. And I would love one of or more of the people who have been arrested to be really pissed that they were called Antifa.
Oh, right. Could we talk about Florida Man?
Yeah.
And you know who I'm talking about? I'm going to send you a text of Florida Man. There were about 5 people, I think, from Florida who have been arrested.
Oh, no.
For this.
Tennessee. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to see your Florida Man and raise you, zip tie guy.
Well, I am going to call a truce and tell you that Florida Man that I'm talking about grew up in Tennessee. So somehow Florida to Tennessee is some kind of backwards underground railroad happening.
That's right.
And here I'm going to text you the picture to make sure you know that we're talking about the same person. Florida is what we've often called Bible Belt adjacent, but I think it's where the people who don't really believe in the Bible as much trickle down, and they're just belt. And it's just, they've gotten all the bad parts of Christianity. So
it's the penis that fell out of the zipper.
So the guy that I am most amused by, and this is an awful word to say amused, but the one that is the most embarrassing is Adam Johnson, the Florida man from the Tampa area, which is exactly what they used to make fun of on 30 Rock. Jenna was, a graduate of the Tampa Dramatic Society of Tricks or something like that. She went to acting school in Tampa. So he's walking through holding the podium with this Trump woven hat on his head with a pom-pom on the top, and he's got long hair. The pom-pom
is a strange choice.
Is it? So he's walking and he's waving at someone taking his picture. What did he think would be the outcome? when someone took his picture.
I know.
Oh
This
my
is
God.
what is insane, that they posed. They put Trump
posed.
flags in Gerald Ford's statue's hands. I mean,
Right.
they were totally defacing democracy.
He's also within the velvet
stupidest.
ropes.
Right, within the velvet ropes. Now, when he was captured, he had a disguise.
Did he?
Tell the people what he did to change his looks, Bonnie.
No.
So
Wait.
no one,
I didn't know he had a disguise.
No, he shaved his beard and mustache. So that's what a lot of them did right after. None of them bought hair dye, I guess, like is on the real TV shows.
Shoe polish.
Yeah.
So
okay,
meanwhile, so apparently the FBI got him after various people who live near him said, "Oh yeah, that's our neighbor." And one of them said, "I'm not surprised, but I'm shocked." So then I've sent Karen a picture of his mugshot, and I'm like, "Why aren't you smiling, buddy?" And so, like, maybe your resolution in 2021 would be to smile more. You're prettier when you smile.
I thought the same thing.
Jackass. This guy, Adam Johnson, he was married before they got divorced. He's been arrested for possession of marijuana when he was a teenager, which isn't a big to-do now, but he broke probation. But so now he's married again to a woman who is a physician, and they have 5 children, 5 kids, and he is a stay-at-home dad. That's fine.
It's obvious, that he's been online a lot, and during COVID, when you're stressed and online, you find groups to belong to. And a friend of mine just put me on the Clubhouse app. I don't know if I don't know, but it's about groups and finding, just like any social media, you find people who are like you.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, that'd be interesting. Let me join that group. So this guy's been teaching ABCs with one hand, I guess. And
and so what's his middle name? Christian.
Wang.
Wang. That's right. So whatever article I was reading said neither Johnson or his wife have responded to phone calls seeking comment. Well, no kidding. But I like this. Their home in the Harrison Ranch community and parish was quiet on Thursday morning, and the street numbers had been removed from the home. Like, that's gonna keep people from figuring out where they live.
101 blank 103.
See,
and just has a big Trump flag out front.
Not leave that there. That'll throw him off. And it says neighbors who know Johnson were unwilling to speak about him. Yeah, I bet.
Shit.
He had, let's see, okay, I told you he was from Tennessee. So that was my stuff on that guy. Oh, but wait. Here's the other thing. Here's another one. Somebody says, they posted this on Twitter, very proud moment for Bradenton, Florida. Adam Johnson went to Lakewood Ranch Baptist. By the way, they've disavowed him now. Like, he doesn't worship here anymore. Makes off with the speaker's podium during the Trump trailer trash flash mob that attempted a coup at the Capitol today. But hey, he's against abortion, so he can do whatever he wants, right? His wife, Susie, a doctor, and he spends time mocking Black Lives Matter. What a great Christian example.
That is it in our neighborhood. This whole belief of look at Black Lives Matter, look at the leaders, look at the communist, stuff behind it. They looted and rioted, and I can see where they're coming from, but it is apples and oranges.
Yeah.
It's just totally 2 different things that need to be dealt with 2 different ways. Any participants in Black Lives Matters who looted or broke in, although I understand that anger all the way, they broke the law.
Totally different anger.
Right. And they broke the law. They'll have to, pay the consequences. This is going in stopping a count. So, of course, in my neighborhood, I'm the one that speaks up on the Facebook group because someone tried to give, a similarity. And I'm like, this is different because, one, they defaced, the people's house. They broke in and they stopped an ongoing count of an election, which I'm furious. I just cannot. I'm going to punch people.
There was no evidence of fraud, though.
Exactly.
Except the seed that Trump planted.
Yeah.
If there was evidence, it would have been completely different.
Right.
And I think people who were on the winning side would have wanted it to be disproven.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it was, but okay. So in more of what did the political leaders in the country say, did you read Jack Graham's tweet?
I saw something. You can read it to me again, and then I can be pissed off. Okay. I'm ready.
Let's see. I want to be able to read. Okay, so this is all it says. Violence at our nation's capital is to be condemned. Not I'm condemning it, but it's to be condemned. Right. And law and order must prevail. Pray for our country. This is heartbreaking. But my favorite is the replies. Did you reply to him?
I did not on this one. I'm afraid because he blocked me on my personal one, which people can follow me there. Karen Alea, I'll follow you back. I'm trying to surround myself by sane people because this is bothering me so much.
Right.
But I did not on our deconversion therapy one because I have before, and I don't want to get blocked on that one because I won't be able to see and then read them and then kick the wall by myself.
Right. I told him, this isn't funny, but I told him that people would appreciate it and respect it if you acknowledge you mistakenly supported this president. And I said, it's like when a pastor admits and apologizes for cheating on his wife. People forgive. Then I told him, do not be afraid. Yeah. Instead of calling him a coward, I was just trying to be empathetic. Like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Or just use the Bible terms against them. That's more my kind of thing. I do that. Marco Rubio's always posting Bible verses. And I'm like, you are the most transparent fucker there. I just... so
a lot of people, though, replied to him and said, this is on you and you know that. Repent publicly.
Yeah, I agree.
Then this guy says, the guy you demanded to vote for, probably meant us to vote for, is responsible for this. And because of that, you are responsible too. I was born and raised in your church and I don't recognize you anymore.
Bam. Maybe it's someone we grew up with. Who is it? Who is it? We'll find off.
Somebody else says, nope, y'all need to own this.
Totally.
A lot of people said repent.
Yep.
This woman says, maybe you shouldn't have encouraged people to vote for an evil, corrupt man with violent, zealot minions. And then somebody says, I'm asking sincerely, will you acknowledge that many warned you this is where your guy was taking us, and you just missed it? We all missed it. So much healing is available in confession and repentance. Seize the opportunity your power and influence gives you to model that, please. People weren't being shitheads to him in their replies. They were really being like, listen, if you say that you made a mistake, it's okay.
Right. And that's very forgiving of them, where I would be like, shut up. And I agree. Like, that is what hopefully some of the people close to him are starting to do. When Florida Man's picture came out, my husband sent me a screenshot and said, is this Sean Foyt? And I said,
sure.
No,
it would have been way more impressive if he had grown a beard in those 2 days rather than shaved one off.
I mean, I really wish Sean Foyt was there, barefoot and singing with his guitar in a corner. But going back to the actual insurrection, that these people who were in there when the cavalry finally came, which we could get into why the hell did it take so long, and I don't go with all the explanations at this point. They just formed their own red velvet ropes and let the people leave. Like, why don't, when they come out, you have enough officers to cuff everyone?
It sure seems to me like a lot of the people who support this whole Blue Lives Matter thing are kind of the same ilk as the people who were protesting.
My daughter sent us a screenshot saying, if you're wondering where the good cops are in this scenario, it's the same reason Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana were never in the same room at the same time.
That's good.
And yeah, we're seeing so much. And my biggest issues are, now, people know I listen to My Favorite Murder. I watch all the, murder shows, all that. And I need Paul Holes to get in on this. Hopefully on the Murder Squad this week, he and Billy Jensen will talk about this. Because we have police showing up late. We do have a few things where they're allowing selfies. But of course, there's a lot more on TikTok where the police are totally getting abused and beat up. We haven't seen...
Is there? I haven't seen a lot.
I know. That it's really strange that hasn't been seen as much. But we know one cop died from being, I appreciate, and I think it was great that all the senators went back in to finalize the count.
Yeah.
But everything I've ever seen, there's crime tape and CSI people coming in to, start taking fingerprints.
Yeah, fingerprints.
They were all over that place. Something is wrong. Where are the people who were supposed to lock down a crime scene?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just take all the Senate and the people in the House and go, to some other establishment to finish all the count? So they didn't do that. And then again, they didn't have FBI or police come out and do a presser. And all that is called a botched job, according to all my years
That's right.
of these podcasting. So it's insane. Go ahead.
Yes. That does sound fishy.
So there's one guy who brought in zip ties, and he was running around everywhere, and they knew zip ties are only used for one thing because on Parler, supposedly it was said, bring zip ties, in case or if you come across senators like Pelosi and all that. So there were definitely nefarious plans in place. His face was covered, etc. There's a guy on Twitter who's in touch with Ronan Farrow, and they got these pictures. They looked at every little single thing, like the logo on his hat, found out where that company is. Anyway, this guy is a fucking bartender here in Nashville. So QAnon, Nashvillians are already shaking because QAnon blew up our main street on Christmas Day.
Is that guy affiliated with QAnon?
Yeah. He believed in the QAnon stuff with 5G. And then we have, these people that now were relating to our town, and either he worked at Kid Rock's bar.
Kid Rock has a bar?
Yes. Kid Rock loves Nashville. He was the MC of a Christmas parade 2 years ago. He's a fucking stringy-haired, So we have this guy, and so my friends and the murderinos here in our community started looking up on Facebook this guy. Someone's like, he just served me last week at Brew House South. The guy with the zip ties is like already a notorious one. He has a picture on his Facebook that while I was looking on his Facebook, everything started getting deleted. like I'd hit and it'd go away. He had a picture of him holding up his middle finger that he had tattooed the word COVID.
Oh my gosh.
As in, you want me to wear a mask? Here you go. But,
okay, while you're talking about masks, if these morons had just worn masks, they wouldn't have been as easily identifiable either. It's like, what do I choose? Do I choose to legitimately cover my face in a time of our country where I can? Or nope, I gotta show that I'm a fuck you COVID kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So this guy in Nashville, then it showed his friends when I was looking at his Facebook. So I got all the screenshots of his friends that went and sent it to the guy on Twitter. I'm just I want them to get them all. But, they haven't been arrested. So I know that while everyone is coming out and saying, this is the name of that guy, he's here, the police are running. But people are already commenting on these people's social media. Oh, got you, fucker, tagging the FBI. And it gives these guys a heads up. So I'm sure they're running and hiding and all that stuff. But yeah, something
I read said that Trump enacted or put a law in place where anybody who vandalized federal property would get an automatic 10 years in jail. So
that was a tweet. Remember, we thought his tweets were laws. We weren't sure.
It was a tweet. It wasn't a law.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe
the fact that everybody has banned him makes me really happy because it's as though they've started caring. I mean, it had to come to this. But, so I guess your Parler account is no longer.
The thing is, I jumped out of Parler that day anyway. I was just so mad. And I'm like, I don't want to see anything. I should have stayed in it, I guess, after all this.
No, Amazon took away their hosting. So even if you wanted to talk to your other Parler friend, you couldn't.
And we could go on and on about Senator Hawley, who is just really getting it now because Simon & Schuster canceled his book that was coming out. And I loved, he's like, this is my statement. Wow, this is Orwellian that, the First Amendment, that I can't write this book and that Simon & Schuster isn't, going to come out with it. And someone tweeted, this isn't Orwellian at all. Orwell got published.
That's good.
I'm loving the smart people on Twitter who are they're fantastic. I'm thrilled that all these yahoos are leaving. When we talk about, quote, trailer trash that someone said, I want to be very clear that not everyone who lives in poverty or in any form of housing has these kinds of thoughts or anything. And
that's why I said, too, hillbilly is a choice.
Yes. I think it's absolutely right. And what's fascinating is now people are saying that they heard Trump say he was very disappointed in the looks of these people, that he didn't have followers that were higher class.
Wow, he's never been to his rallies.
Exactly.
Good Lord.
I know. This is maybe he invites all the, quote, high-class people to sit up front in places of honor, and that's who he looks at. But no, these are his people.
So also, Bikers for Trump founder Chris Cox warned that the U.S. is on the brink of socialism and the brink of revolution, and he repeatedly offered to, quote, take the first bullet. Cox declared, right now there is a major assault on decency. Oh, my God. And then his quote is, they want your Bible, they want your babies, and they want your bullets. Yep.
Man.
I love, though, that the idea is they want your babies. Like, they want you to kill babies.
I know.
No.
I know.
Oh, my God.
I responded, I guess it's to Sean Foyt. I don't know.
God.
About, it's been proven that when there's access to health care and education and empowering women, you have less abortion. Lower abortion.
So I also wanted to leave you with another piece of information. So apparently there's some college called Robert Gordon.
Okay.
So Robert Gordon College or University, Lehigh, and Wagner universities, they all stripped Trump of his honorary degrees, which I love how, we gave you this fake thing and now we're going to take our fake thing back.
Right.
But you know who hasn't? Liberty University. They're still... not joining on the bandwagon.
Right. And we know the issue with Jack Graham that he hasn't denounced Trump is access to power. Like he still feels, and a lot of these people do, Franklin Graham, that something will happen. I can't let go yet. And I think Pence is the same way. I can't let go yet because there might still be a way that this will benefit me.
Or there might still be a way that Trump, after he gets out of office, can hurt me.
True.
Although, I don't know how.
I wake up every morning and I said to my husband, he said the same thing. I still can't get the picture of them just roaming around.
Slowly.
Yes. Rifling through papers, looking at state secrets. We don't know what they saw.
Right.
We know a laptop is missing and Pelosi's, although it was just used for, whatever.
I think
presentations, but.
Oh, well, but isn't it also the difference between how things happen in the real world and how we've seen them in movies? If you're on a heist in a movie, you move fast.
Right.
Unless you're trying to walk through a hotel lobby and not be noticed by other people going, why is that person running?
Yes.
So
as you look from behind a newspaper while you're wearing a hat. Yeah.
Right. Or you're trying to just blend. They weren't even trying to blend. They could have gotten in there, done their harm, and scooted out. But it was a weird slow motion.
They wanted to be face to face with the senators.
I think they wanted to be stopped and gassed and been a martyr.
Right. I think there's all that. I think they wanted martyrdom. I think they wanted to be heard in some way. I don't know what, because if they were being filmed, they could have easily just, okay, we're here. This is what we want. This is why we're here. Whatever. They didn't do that. I think they wanted to come across the senators. I don't know how in the world they thought they were going to really stop the count because, much like Trump, he never gives a full plan of what you do step two. It's just step one. And I am now going to join the Flat Earthers podcast because I'm going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy all the way. I'm just, I can't understand what's going on and how it's gotten this bad and that these guys, they're free. Most of them, there's been a lot of arrests, but I want to know, was there bail on any of this?
Right.
Although I think this all goes back to Christian nationalism, I'm going to say this is a conglomeration of a lot of thought processes that happen to all be pro-Trump. Whatever that is, whether their thoughts are atheist.
They're all white, though. All
whatever.
Those people were white.
But there's some blacks.
There were black people who broke into the Capitol?
I don't know if they broke in. I think there's at least one, but there are definitely blacks who were there at the pro-Trump thing, which confounds me. But I think there's a lot of we've seen a lot of that with Candace Owens, and it's just all bullshit of, but I'm a special black. And, you know, when a black is a Republican, all the Republicans jump around them like, yeah, you know.
I didn't see any blacks in the Capitol in any of those pictures.
Yeah, there is, because if you go on the FBI.org page and who they're looking for,
really?
One of them is black.
Okay.
I've looked through all those pictures. I'm taking them down. That's what I do.
Oh, I love that. So tell the people, where do you go on FBI.org?
Yeah, it's right on their front page, and then you can look through the people they're trying to identify. I think a lot have been identified since, but, you know, that's what's happening. And I put on our...
Is it org or gov?
It could be gov.
Yeah, I just went somewhere that wasn't right. Oh, there we go. Seeking information. Oh, I love it.
I know, because I always watch Unsolved Mysteries back in the day going like, I'm going to be the one. I'm 16, but I am going to catch a criminal.
I wanted to be the one, too. I always want to be the one. I'm not a real fan of our downstairs neighbor. I hope he doesn't know.
You know, for me, I think it does have a lot to do with Christian nationalism that is therefore racism. But the guy who wears the fluffy headpiece and has a beard and doesn't wear a shirt,
right.
What's his name? I think it's Jake Angeli. He has plenty of videos where he's talking about spiritual warfare. This is spiritual warfare. And I think that is a main thing that's led to a lot of this, is that people who believe in spiritual warfare have now taken all the imagery literally and feel that they're supposed to be Christian soldiers in the literal sense.
Right.
And then they take the racism from the Bible, which is there, and then they combine that all, and then they also believe that they're supposed to build God's kingdom on earth, which they feel Trump was doing. And you combine all that, and I can see where they think this is the logical conclusion, because all these illogical things have been mixed up into it. And
it's because they've been told things, though.
Exactly.
I don't think they've looked for information. They're just,
okay. Right. Let me listen to these guys who are making videos in their front seats of their cars, and they're real angry, and it sounds good to me. Well, by the time you're listening to this, I'm sure all these people are in jail, including anybody who conspired or got them riled, because as we know, Charles Manson never committed a murder himself. He just incited it. So I hope all of them are in jail, and I look forward to watching long videos of them being cuffed, because that's what I need right now.
Yeah, I hope Florida man in his little orange jumpsuit is having some nice guy tell him, smile more. Yeah. You're pretty when you smile.
There's someone in jail who loves a good furry. I felt gross saying that, but I was thinking of the guys who wear the fur. Good luck. Good luck.
All right, so send us some of your letters. Let us know what your family's thinking about this whole event, and if there's anybody still defending some of the craziness.
I feel sorry for people who don't want to know if their family agrees with this, because that becomes almost an unjumpable divide.
Right.
It's really difficult, but shit piles all. So also go to our Facebook. We'll discuss more on there. Give us your insights. Post some good videos that will satisfy Karen's bloodthirst right now.
All right, we'll talk to you later when we have hopefully some more levity. Or at least a subject matter that's a little less important.
We need another pastor to pull his dick out at this point to divert us. And thank you, Luke, for reviewing us. He said, since I'm supposed to, quote, rate you, you both are 10s in my book. I could listen to you all day long. Thanks for what you do. Thank you, Luke, for being an idiot. We appreciate it.
That's so nice. And you're named after a biblical guy. What's he? An apostle? Is Luke an apostle?
It is. It's the actual Luke.
It's the actual Luke.
Adios.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye.